Okay, guys, this is a very difficult story to talk about. This was one of my first near-death experiences. I was I was hit by a train and survived. My grandmother as well. So it began just like any other day. I was picked up from school back in 2015. And my grandmother drove me from elementary school, and we lived in a different city. It wasn't far from the elementary school though. So we're on the way back home. We're literally almost home. Well, she comes up to a train track. This train track does not have arms that let down. Does not have the lights flashing. At least you couldn't see them because the sun was shining directly on them, so you couldn't see if they was lighting up. So there's nothing there. So me and my grandmother are just driving. I'm on my tablet because I'm still mainly a kid, and I'm watching YouTube videos, Markiplier, all them guys. This is the car we was in. It was a 2003 Chevy Tracker, I believe. Or is that a Ford? That's a Chevy. I couldn't really tell because the image. We didn't have this thing long. Anyway, well, we went over the train track, but before we did, I was on my tablet. I looked down, and I had my earbuds in, so I couldn't hear nothing. And she just casually, just driving. Something told me to look up, and when I did, I was like, "Why do I need to look up?" And I was like, "I guess I'm gonna look up." I just now turned the song on and listened to it. I think I was listening to Nickelback, to be honest. And I look over, and she's just driving, and I look to the left, and I see this dang train just booking it. I mean, he's going a pretty decent speed. And I looked over, and I was like, I called my grandmother Mama, and I was like, "Mama, train." And she's like, "What?" And she looks over, and she sees a train just coming. And we're already, if you slam on the brakes, we're going to smack into the side of it, and it's going to take the whole front end off and probably, smear us all over the train and kill us. Well, and this train's still booking it. My grandmother is, it's life or death right now, and she don't know what to do because we have to come up with a plan right now. And this is the only way we could see getting out, because if we would have slammed on our brakes, we would have smacked right into the side of him. So he's still flying. Just about, he's not just going as fast as this train right here, but he is going at a decent speed, and completely smacked into us. We jumped it. I felt like Dukes of Hazzard, man. We jumped the train track. We thought we made it at first. I was like, "Oh my gosh, you made it!" Like it got quiet and everything, and then all we hear is boom from the back end of the train, and it got us in the back end of our tracker, and it flipped us straight upside down. I remember I closed my eyes. I didn't know what was going on, man. I was scared to death. My ears were ringing. I felt like I was in a dang action movie like Dwayne Johnson or something, man. It felt like a Fast and Furious movie. I was sitting there, my ears was ringing ear to ear. The radio was still blasting. I'm scared to death to look over. I'm hanging from my seatbelt. My grandmother is too. And I remember I was like, "Mama." She didn't answer. And I was like, "Mama." She still didn't answer. I said it one last time. And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Like, I thought I didn't want to look over. I was so scared to look over. But we was hanging there, and I looked over. All the doors was jammed. My dumb self didn't even look below me, but I took my seatbelt off, and I fell to the roof of the car. Luckily, there was a cop up at the gas station, and he come running down there. I mean, we looked like a dang NASCAR stock car upside down. We was literally just completely upside down. Luckily, we didn't catch fire. We didn't catch anything. But he had to come down there and bust out the back windshield, because the back windshield was the only thing that he could get to us with, because the windows up there, they was busted out, but we couldn't get through them because of the way they busted out, and the doors was jammed as well, so there was no way. The back doors were jammed also, so I had to bust out the back window. And And my grandmother, I let her get out first, and then I got out, and the glass is really close to me. Like it broke a little bit. Like it didn't get it touched my stomach, but it didn't cut me or anything like that. The only thing, here's the article right here, just so y'all can believe me. This happened, emergency personnel responded to a wreck Monday afternoon between an SUV and a train and the intersection of Wall Street and Railroad Avenue in Alabama. This happened back in 2015, like I said. It was a Monday. And if you look up train wrecks, many people don't survive these. So I'm very blessed and lucky to be here. As soon as they got us out of the tracker, all the emergency personnel and everybody just crowded around me. And they was very shocked. They thought they was like, you're like a walking miracle, man. Like, you shouldn't be here is what happens. That, you're a walking miracle. My grandmother's crying. She's calling and everything. My dad and everything. It was a very bad experience and time in my life when that happened. I remember I went to a hair salon that was next door, and they gave me a free drink, set me down and everything. Well, I was a hypochondriac even then. I mean, it's understandable to be one at this point in time. I thought I swallowed a piece of glass because my throat felt scratchy and everything. Well, I got to the hospital. The ambulance took me, and I was fine. So, I mean, we just left because I was completely fine. Still to this day, no problems. I'm completely fine from a train wreck. It's just looking back at it and seeing all the other ways it could have ended. I thank God that he was with me that day, because it could have ended way worse. It could have drug us down the train track, and trains take forever to stop, and we would have been dead, and I was too young. I did not want to die, and my grandmother certainly didn't want to die. My grandmother, it is not her fault. She did not really, like I said, she really did not see anything. And by the time we was there, the train was already there, and it got us in the rear end, causing us to flip like a stock car and be upside down. It's just a very big miracle that we got out of it. All I walked away with was a little tiny scratch on my hand, and it didn't even scar, and it went away. So I'm very blessed. That is all that I walked away from that crash with. But guys, I just want to thank y'all so much. Thank you for your time and watching this video, if you're still here, because a lot of people don't watch these things. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice day, and bye, guys.